agenda.
Oh, sorry, I have them.
I know what's on the agenda, but
it's nothing really. Yeah.
Exactly, basically.
Okay, so we're just getting started. So we're officially starting 5:33. All right, we will start with the. Ooh, you already have blueberries.
Ooh, nice.
There. Thank you. We will start with the secretary's report.
I move that it be accepted as written.
I second it.
Thank you. Okay. So that's set. Financials, we did get an email from Jeff. He's away. I'll just share it out loud so that everyone, maybe it wasn't, everyone was on it. But checking right now is at $20,442. Our savings and CDs are at $92,621. That's all I got from Jeff. But that's.
So we're solvent.
We're solvent. Yes. And
that's yours.
Yeah. That's the treasurer's report. Unless you have anything else, Catherine, that you could add for context there. Okay. I don't have any. Okay. Is anybody on Zoom?
Nobody is on Zoom.
Then, okay. So for building, I thought, well, first of all, is there anything coming up for you in regards to like building?
Not anything coming up, but I just did want to let people know. I think Sue and Linda were kind of here while it was happening, but we had a problem with the toilet a couple weeks ago. It just totally stopped flushing altogether. There was some waste inside it several times throughout the day. So we closed the next day while we figured it out. And it really, fortunately, Meredith's husband, Jason, was able to fix the toilet. Yeah.
He's very good at it.
He is. He's very helpful. And it only cost us $20. The plumber that we had asked to come out couldn't come out for an entire week. And they were going to charge $79 just to come out, let alone fix. Yeah.
Okay.
So that worked out really well. But we should probably keep an eye on it because what happened was piece of the hardware was old and so it just failed. So it could happen with other parts of the toilet too. I don't really know that much about plumbing.
Should we replace the toilet?
I don't know if that's necessary, but
I thought we replaced it when we
got
redid it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I think we did.
Probably the toilet
So
itself.
it couldn't
It's
be
probably
that.
just the inner mechanisms of it that might need to get replaced at some point.
yeah.
So maybe we should put that on the back burner or somebody keep an eye on it.
Somebody.
I missed a few meetings for a few reasons, and I never circled up. Did the off-gassing pipe ever get resolved?
No, that's not
still
resolved.
Pending.
So that needs still support.
So there's not really an appropriate off-gassing situation with the toilet. So sometimes it smells sewery. And I don't know how to fix that really.
Is that the toilet or is that?
So there's like a pipe that's underneath the vanity, and someone had just way back in the day just kind of put a carbon filter on top of it to kind of take some of the smell away. It can only do so much. The proper way is to vent it out of the building, and so it's getting someone to come in and locate what's the best way, and you have to essentially drill a hole through the building to get the pipe out. To off gas it properly. That way you won't have that backflow of gases in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And the reason that we haven't done anything about it yet was we were waiting to see what would happen with building an accessible bathroom. We haven't done a ton of big maintenance projects while we waited to see how that timeline would resolve. But that's the only building thing I have.
Okay. And then we got an email from Nick at VIA. There's been some back and forth between Nick and Chris from the town select board around the model for accessibility as they start to think about the other pieces of the puzzle of the foundation. So Tom had commented on one email about maybe changing the entrance for the ramp, but I can show you what was shared today, and I can also just share what he said. He said, model progress update below with ramp towards north. Comments welcome.
What direction is north?
I'll show you the picture. You'll see it. Okay, so this is what it would look
okay.
on the other side. I'm not sure why, because we always talked about it being on this side.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sure why. Because what if we put it in I'm just kind of like sitting back from this because there's some people that have very strong opinions, and I want to let Chris kind of do this from the town. But we had talked about having the entrance on this side with an accessible vestibule. So I'm not sure. I know Tom has preferences because of things that he likes about things, but yeah, maybe you know more.
I also don't have a preference about which way the ramp goes. I do think that part of Tom's reasoning, I don't remember all of it, but part of it was about parking. I think he would like to move the shed that belongs to the church and maybe try to use that for parking. That was a piece of it. There was one other piece too, but it was in the email chain and I can't remember what it was.
This is another drawing view.
So I have a concern. That beautiful lilac tree.
I know. I was thinking about that too.
And
yeah, it's all that landscaping.
Yeah. For some reason, that looks weird to me because I pictured it going the other way.
Same. Well, because we also talked about I just feel like I've kind of like lost control or any kind of like agency in this project, which is fine. I'm kind of just like, do what you want, town. But also, I feel like we are a board and we should be voicing our opinions. So I can write back at the board's meeting. Yeah.
Is that I'd like to see a drawing of what it looks like on the other side, because it seems to me that, I don't know, this side is heading away from the library or something. I mean, people sort of enter, I don't know, it's just.
Oh, I agree. I remember at some meeting, somebody said that the town that the church is pretty attached to that building. They spent the money to put a new roof on.
It was me.
I don't think they're going to be real happy about. They're not going to move that.
Right. Yeah. And so then people will be parking in front of where you approach the ramp. And
that's true. We'll have to have like
Could
a
be
handicap
space. But that's going to block a lot of parking because we park in front of the building, the little building, the shed as well.
And also, this could end up being like a temporary ramp or not, depending on where this building project, the next phase, if there is a next phase after foundation and roof. Because we know that once someone gets into the porch and into the building, first of all, they probably can't even get in the building with a chair, right? I can't imagine we'd have to change the door, right? Like that has to be changed.
The frames aren't wide enough.
They're not wide enough.
It's
and
like
then, it's like, what is the purpose of the ramp? I'm kind of like over this ramp thing.
Turn enough. The ramp needs to come off the steps because it needs to come off the steps and then turn, because if a wheelchair goes up, the ramp is right next to the door. To the door. How does the wheelchair turn?
I mean, it's also a model, so I'm sure they have like very
it has to go through
good ADA,
right.
right?
There's certain standards for pitch and
I mean, they'll get that part figured out. What I'm curious about is like, why are we going back to this Band-Aid approach? I also it might not be in our control because the town has now taken kind of ownership of the project. So we either kind of suck it up and just go with it and not make a stink, or we just kind of because it's you make a ramp and then you've got the next layer, the bathroom's not accessible. The space is not accessible. And also we had talked about the idea of having that earthen path to come into this side over here so that we could ultimately, when we go to the next phase, if we ever do, then we would have it already, instead of having to Band-Aid and then remove the Band-Aid.
I would agree. I think that it's never a bad idea for us to voice our opinion on this matter.
Okay.
In a way that's saying, let's do this in a way that meets the need, but also we're financially, aware of, we don't want to waste money. Like some of that stuff might just happen, but if we can kind of like reduce that impact of not having to redo a thing, I think that's kind of where, we're being like, we're financially responsible for the town's money and our budget too.
And I also feel that the select board with Chris, who I don't know at all, but just observing him, would be very interested in the library's board opinion.
Oh, 100%.
And I think we don't have some of the other people there that were not interested in the library board.
I'm just happy to see that there is interest in this. And however it shakes out, I think we voice our opinion and they'll do, maybe they take it, maybe they don't, and then we just move on. But I think it's never hurts to just share what we think.
Do we own enough of that land to do that?
We do.
Okay.
I believe.
Lindsay,
They started doing a
send the email to?
This email currently is Chris Brown, Tom, Bob, Neil, who did he's a structural engineer, Laura Crane, Paula, Jeff York, Catherine, Andrea Murray, and Peter Gibbs.
Can we condense that and say the
building committee?
The building committee. Yeah.
There, that's excuse me.
I'm sorry, I don't remember what.
I said, do we own enough?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, so the town arranged for a survey, which I believe they were doing earlier today.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So
okay.
they really are taking charge of the project. And there's a lot of energy around it. Chris and Nick have been working very hard. I definitely think they are interested and responsive to board input. Originally, they gave us a model with the ramp on the other side, and the reason that they changed it was because Tom expressed he would like to see what that model would
But
look
Tom
like.
is one member of a larger building committee / board. So, because he said, where did Tom's email? Just so that we know the thread here. I spent the last 15 years with this library. We walk our kids to the school bus spot.
We know.
Okay. Being on the JTL board, The passing of seasons gives this building a unique appearance, but the most beloved trait is the capturing of the sun from the south and west. The ramp placement on the southwest side could compromise the true beauty of this historic building.
No,
I think we all have different opinions.
Just want to remind everybody we're on Zoom.
I'm just using my library narrative voice.
Okay.
Yes, this is my theatrical voice. An alternative approach could be placing the ADA ramp on the northwest corner entrance. Currently, there's only a lilac tree-sized scrub occupying that space. Adding to that note, the removal of the church shed would offer a great place for handicapped parking and possibly a direct ramp entrance with similar grades. So I think that's fine. I mean, I think we should see both. Like, it'd be nice to see both drawings. Maybe they did give us an initial drawing of that first one, but
I think they did.
I mean, literally it looks the exact same, but on the other side.
And
It's just I think we just have to have as a consensus as a board. Like, Tom's on the building committee. He provided his opinion. He's not here this evening, but I think people from the board should also be able to weigh in.
And just to kind of get everything all kind of buttoned up, it is worth just asking the church, do they want to move this? Because if they
That's
don't, it really changes the discussion. If they are amenable to moving the shed, then we can have the discussion as a board and figure out what's the best option as a group. But if they're right out of the gate, like, no, we're going to keep the shed here, then I think it kind of just like solves itself a little bit. And we
I
have
don't
to
think
worry.
they have any place to move it to.
Right. And
Yeah, they don't have any more land. Well, no, where would it go? Right.
Right, yeah, they're
I don't
pretty,
know.
well, maybe the parking lot of behind the church school.
I think it
In
doesn't
the
hurt
parking
to
lot.
just ask them the question.
Yeah,
No,
I don't think they're
if
going to
they
want to
say
spend
no
that kind of
thanks,
money
then-
No,
to actually
I don't
move the
either,
building.
but they do own land there. And then speaking of land, it's my memory that the town owns like 6 feet of the front of Beth's yard all the way across.
I remember something about that coming up.
Yes, so there might be more wiggle room on that side. Just, I mean, we don't want to put a ramp on her yard, but on the other point, that's the town's land, and she has often talked about that in the past. I haven't talked to her lately, but you do remember that?
I do.
So when I am writing back, am I asking them for they've already given us drawings for the other side, right?
I think so. I think it's in the same email chain.
Maybe it's more like, okay, we've seen both sides. What is really best for the library, right? Like instead of one person's opinion, I don't know. Like, what are people here and the town? Like, I think it's up to the town plus the board to make that decision,
plus
right?
the church, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
we
I
also,
think,
we can't move
the first thing is to find out whether the church is anxious to move their building.
So it might be Isabel and Martin might be a good person to connect with, because she really is, I think, the primary person who takes care of the shed. I see her out there a lot doing weeding around it and making sure it looks nice. So she would probably, if she doesn't have an answer, she would know who to talk to.
Realistically, timing wise of them moving it and the cost, I can see an argument for them saying yes, and also an argument for them saying no, because we are asking them to incur a cost to move that shed as well.
Well,
unless we are somehow want to
pay for the removal
as good neighbors, right? If that's something we truly want to do on that side, then I think there's ways for us to do it respectfully,
or the town to do it respectfully.
Correct. That is fair. Yes.
Yeah. The town would need to and that might be another way that the town can kind of
spearhead this.
Yeah. Kind of as a collaborative effort. My wondering is we had worked really hard not to put a ramp connected to the porch. I'm still hung up on this. I know they're not willing to I just wonder, could we get the pricing of an earthen path that would go to a new door on the side with a new accessible entrance?
See, that's what I thought we were going for.
We were. Why are we not looking at both options? That's what because I think the ramp is going to be a Band-Aid and it's going to then be, if we ever do any more renovation, it could be removed easily.
The vestibule.
Yeah, the vestibule would be serving that purpose. Plus we know that doorway is going to have to be replaced and the door will have to be replaced. So I don't understand what is better off, it might cost more up front, but then we're saving money during that second, in the long run, I think. I don't know. That's where I'm I just don't really know.
Unless it's a discussion with the town, if they do decide to build this, then we might have to go back to the drawing board of this new entrance. How can we maybe redesign that so that it's minimum impact of wasting money to tear around? Is there a way for us to remake that entrance without having to tear down too much of what they're establishing with a ramp?
Except that's getting back to Tom's thing about the sunset. Forget the sunset. The look of our porch and the steeple or whatever it is the classic symbol of Jericho Center.
Right.
And it's on postcards logo, right? And it's what we're remembered about, what's remembered about us. And by changing that porch, I think is blasphemous.
And it changes the footprint of the library, and can we even do that?
No, how does it change the footprint?
Well, it's going to change the whole look of what you just said. The whole look of the front porch is going to change.
Right, because of this ramp sticking out on one side or another, it's going to ruin the classic look of the library.
When you talk, to play devil's advocate a little bit with the kind of the classic look, is we did have plans for an expansion to try to meet that need, but we are going to change it someday, right? Of that, because we're going to have a classic look ish at some point. We're going to expand, and we're going to lose that in another way, though. So is there a way for us?
The facade of the building I don't think would change. It would keep the historic nature in the front, and then it was kind of this add-on addition piece that would. It wouldn't change what you see from the front, so it keeps it historic.
And there was talk that entrance would not really exist anymore.
It'd be historic.
Right,
it
wouldn't
be
touch
used.
it.
Yeah.
So then we're talking about. I'm going full circle here. I'm going around on my own thoughts, but obviously, if we change the door frame, then we're changing that look too.
Exactly.
So I see your point there.
Yeah. So that's where I'm a little bit kind of have lost the I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure when it switched to like, we're doing a ramp. But all of a sudden, like sometime in here, it was like, we're going to need to do a ramp.
Yeah, I think when the town took control of the project, really, that's when it switched because, right, the money that was committed to the library building was just for the structural repairs. And I think that from the town's perspective, they're trying to go above and beyond by adding an accessible entrance or, trying to get to an accessible entrance that was not part of that agreement.
Well, the ADA fund, the ARPA funds were for ADA accessibility. So technically, the funds that we have from the town are both approved for structural repairs and ADA accessibility.
Right, but it's just not enough money to do the whole project that we had hoped for. And so I think it is in good faith. They're really trying to stretch the money that we have as far as possible. But I'm not saying I don't want it. Like, I would love for there to be a side entrance. That would be the ideal situation. But that's why it is the way it is. And I think we can definitely express again that we're hoping that we can, move forward with that plan. But if we do that, there has to be significant fundraising involved with that.
We were, the vote and this winter and all of that was like, the foundation, the roof, and the cupola.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. But prior to that, we had $100,000 approved for accessibility before we even knew all these pieces needed. So there's kind of like, it's both. And so so the town wants to see that the foundation, the roof, and the cupola are improved. That's what people are going to want to see, that money went towards that.
Right.
Then there's also the people in the town that have been kind of along the whole way, understanding this is about also accessibility. And just putting a ramp on is not making a building accessible. I don't know how many times we can say that, but it's not going to make this building accessible. In fact, it might actually be, I don't know, to me it feels like kind of a joke.
They can't even get through the front door.
Yeah, it makes my stomach hurt actually, because I just feel like it's not really,
And we did not plan on the fact that the Jericho Roofing Company had offered us free roofing of some sort.
Right.
And so that
agreement still hold? Are they still holding to that?
Yeah, but that wasn't really ever part of the budget of the project in the first place.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But they might be willing to do some structural instead. They're roofers instead of giving us a new roof.
Right.
I'm sure there's a discussion that can be made, especially if the structure of the roof isn't sound. Why would they want to put a new roof on it?
I would think they would not. I would think that would be one of the things that they would say, is that this is pointless for us to put a roof on when it's structurally.
Yeah, so maybe instead of putting a whole new roof, maybe the cost of that, $40,000, $100,000, I don't have any idea, could help with the structural repair, leaving us money to perhaps change the entrance.
Are we stalled? Can I ask you, Catherine? Yeah. Are we a little bit stalled? I thought I understood a couple meetings ago that we're kind of stalled until we get approved or not approved from that grant. Is that true?
It is, but it's not really holding us back from anything because we wouldn't be able to start breaking ground yet anyhow. There's still, we're still trying to decide what model we
I just wondered.
But yes, that is true.
And when are they gonna?
There's not a specific date for letting people know. It should be in the fall.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They're moving it forward. There's lots of emails.
Yes.
I just feel like I am less likely to look at them because Nick and Chris go back and forth a lot. Nick's really working closely with Chris from the select board. So I'll look at them and kind of read them, but because they're things I don't really even understand. Yeah. Ramp slopes and drip lines and things like that. Yeah. I don't need to, we shouldn't have to, right? We have people that are experts. So, yeah.
It's great we have them.
Yeah. So I guess, the next step is okay. So back to this email. This is about the ramp. Okay. And then I really like this is from Nick.
Tom?
No, this is from Nick, the VIA. I really like the simpler configuration of a straight run and integrating into dedicated parking. Note that the site plane is modeled dead flat currently, so you aren't seeing that grade slope meeting the base of ramp. We will put together a basic architectural site plan based on 2014 info, which will more clearly show how this sits on site and relates to the new parking space.
We don't have a new parking space.
This apparently we do.
This
will warrant updating with survey info when it comes. I have done a preliminary check-in with historic preservation. It seemed timely as we start to firm up the concept of modifying the front porch. ARPA funding brings us under purview of Section 106. Greg Goskinski is getting up to speed with the history of the building and project and will provide initial comments. Initial response seemed receptive to the new porch, but that's not taking into account the board's initial thoughts, right? I mean, this is. He also suggested the ramp could be considered an interim measure that could be removed if an addition ever proceeded. Worth considering might influence the construction of it. Andrea noted that for one project, they plan to use a dock-style prefab ramp that could be easily installed or removed. Largely depends on likelihood of any addition, so let's assume a more permanent structure for planning and pricing at this stage. Parking notes. We require one accessible space per ADA. Town zoning. Technically, we trigger parking requirements with an improvement, which I calculate is 8 total on site. However, assuming we aren't planning on adding a parking lot, I see there are alternative allowances for off-site, plus on-street per below, and we could also validly argue that with no change of use, the current arrangement of street parking around the circle meets needs. I just wanted to check in with any other thinking on this your side. On street, I don't know. So yes, I guess there's a lot there. Some of it I don't really understand too well. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
So to summarize, we're going to ask if they can do
if they would consider
the ramp on this side.
And they would consider perhaps changing their whole plan to this. I think that has to be mentioned.
I think dock style means
separate entrance.
Metal, like prefab metal, like that can be easily removed rather than planting pillars in the ground for foundational support. Well, they might still, but the metal could be taken down and given to someone else who has a need, so it's less impact than building it from scratch out of timber.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good idea.
I do think if we're going to have it as a temporary fix, then that makes more sense. But
I think it's
more
cost-effective measure for us for like meeting the needs for ADA and then being able to easily remove it for any type of potential expansion.
Do you want to ask, not to be contentious, but for clarification, where the initial support has come from that they're mentioning?
The initial support.
When they mentioned in the email, there's been initial support for this new plan of modifying the porch.
That would be the town. That would be
the select board.
That would be the select board. That would be.
Or was it just the building committee?
Well, I mean, I'm on the building committee.
Oh,
and so is Jeff. So is Catherine.
I'm just wondering if
there's a select board, and I think it's Bob that I think it's working with the architects. I think it's about pricing and cost.
Bob is a structural engineer.
So I think it's working with all the different people. That's where the momentum's coming. I think it's the fact that like the select board has been like, okay, go forth and keep it, as inexpensive as possible. Because there wasn't like a lot of support.
Just initially. That one line where there's initial support for the modification of the porch.
We never supported.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if, without being contentious, if we can ask for clarification about where this initial support has come from, so that we then can internally navigate that. Because without knowing where this initial support has come from, we are left with no tools for navigating that communication.
Yeah.
And I do mean as non-contentious as possible.
I would also wonder that I mean, they're the experts, but this is a historic building, and if you modify or change too much of that front porch, I think that runs into what am I trying to say?
That's what he's saying. We're going. That's why he went.
Historic
and
preservation.
That's why now he said we triggered ADA, so then we have to have one parking spot. Like you would have to have a handicap parking spot. Like now that once you put the ramp in, so like once you modify a building, then it triggers all this. You know. So I think that's what he's saying. So I can ask that first. Where has the initial support for modification of the porch come from? The board has always felt fairly strongly, or not fairly, strongly, about maintaining the front of the building and not changing it, not changing the.
Or do you? And this is just a thought to thank them for what they've been doing and like maybe approach it like.
Oh yeah, that wasn't the first. Okay. That wouldn't be the first. I'm just writing down my questions.
Oh yeah,
now, and then
I was thinking. You're like,
no. I'm writing down all the questions, and then I'll massage the email later. I just want to get them all. So I have that question, and then I have we understand the ramp is a cost savings, and we also want to point out that once there's a ramp, you have many other factors that will need to be addressed. Entranceway, door frame, door. What happens when someone with a mobility issue is up the ramp? How is the library truly accessible for them to enter? Is it possible to explore the difference in cost between adding the ramp to the front porch, knowing that we would have to renovate the entrance and door, versus having an earthen path that would lead to an accessible entrance on the side of the building and not have the ramp on the historic porch?
By replacing one of the existing windows. I mean, the space is already there.
Okay.
I don't think they're against any of this, but I do think they will wonder where is the money to do that part of the project.
That's where I'm wondering, what is the difference in cost ultimately? Like, if you're going to have to, I also wonder if, I just don't want to get anymore. I can also just talk to Chris on the phone too. Yeah. But I feel like it's helpful just for everyone to hear all the questions. Sure. But so
a lot of this is not going to happen until after all the major renovation changes are.
They have to do the foundation.
Because if there's talk about lifting the building, then they're not going to be doing any of this stuff until it's done.
Good point.
And then I just said the board members in attendance would like to see the ramp on the other side. We'd initially discussed the entrance on this side. Know that Tom voiced the opportunity to see the ramp on the other side. This is all just rambles. We are not sure that the church is in a place to move their shed. Who makes the ultimate decision on what side of the building the ramp should go on? The majority of the board would like to see the entrance ultimately on the other side of the building. What side is this? The
south.
South.
I was thinking if that's north, this must be
on the other side.
On the only
I get my compass out.
It's this delicate dance. I feel like we've now come in because we've been saying for years
help us,
and now they are helping us.
Yeah,
and
that's why I was
very. I think yes.
So we're flexible. We're open.
We're just wondering.
Yes, but we've also been on this project for 20 years or whatever, and.
I think it's really responsible and really super helpful to say while maintaining the historic preservation is important to Jericho's values and we're just trying to ride that line and I think that's really smart.
And I think it would behoove them to be. I think if they're not already aware of it, I can't imagine they're not, right? I feel like they're probably thinking about those things, or at least like to be optimistic that they're thinking about the historic view of the building.
Sure.
Yeah.
They brought it up, so it's just asking for clarification.
Yeah. So there's that, and then I can also just see if Chris wants to have a conversation too.
I know we've met a lot with him. I wonder if maybe he would come to a board meeting, especially with Maggie joining as the director.
The next board meeting, maybe the August board meeting. Okay.
that way everyone can just hear like the same information at the same time if he's available.
Right. Because there's a lot on this thread. It's like lots and lots of things.
Fire back and forth.
Yeah, I'm
Lots
just
of
like,
technical
I'm
language,
busy
too.
working right now. I'm listening to my personal email, so I don't even like, I'm like, I don't know what the ratio is here. Okay. So that is, I just wanted to let people know that. Okay. On to, that's building. Library director.
My report is short today. Hopefully I keep it short. Circulation looked pretty similar to usual. We had
Oh wait, got it. Okay.
We had 1,116 physical items circulate, which was just a little bit up from last month and also a little tiny bit up from the same time last year. So that's pretty stable. We added 79 new items to the collection. Most of them were books, but we also added some board games and DVDs as well. We had 669 people visit the library or visits to the library during June. And we had 13 programs with about 237 people attending those programs. The biggest one was definitely our summer reading launch party, which we co-hosted with Deborah Rossin at the community center. We had about 85 people there. It was a really nice morning. And also it was the least prep I had ever done for it, and it went the smoothest. So if you want to do something similar next year, I'll tell you what I did, and it was nice and fun. You were there. It felt fun. I was also less stressed because I planned fewer things, so I wasn't trying to hop around all of them at the same time, which was nice.
There's still like 8 things though. It's like so much.
Last year we had 2 additional craft tables, I think, plus a bigger scavenger hunt. And the year before that we had all of that, plus we had localish authors there too. So that, yes, scaled down a little bit, and I think it worked out well. The tie-dyeing is always the most popular thing there, I think. Then our other programs were the ones that we typically run. Our story time and play group on Thursdays, our speculative fiction book club met. We had Riot Craft Studio here for Pen Pals, and we started our Spanish story times again. So we're having them about every 2 weeks in the summer. And if we're interested in continuing during the school year, Sherry, who runs them, would absolutely love to keep doing them during the school year.
Which one was that?
The Spanish story time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she works in the Spanish immersion program, and she is a native Spanish speaker, and she's really great with kids. It's very fun, and she draws quite the age range because a lot of her former students and her current students come, and then there's always like little kids there too. So it's really fun. I think we had about 20 people the last 2 times that she did it. We had Puppy Happy Hour. The Cyber Sled Dog puppies came, and that was really fun.
Great.
Yeah, thank you to Linda and to Lindsay and to Isla who volunteered.
Oh, you guys had to like limit it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
People were talking about that in Westford. They were like, I wanted to see. And I was so sad. They were like, it was the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
People loved that program.
It's so fun. They do it every year. Yeah.
I thought it'd be all families. It was like teenagers come in and hold some puppies.
Yeah, there
families,
was
older people.
a woman in her 30s that was like, I didn't get it. And she was like, I didn't have kids or anything. So I felt a little bit bad that I wanted to take a spot, but I really wanted to take a spot.
It's
and I was
everybody.
There's a business in Cambridge called the Golden Retriever Puppy Farm or something. And you can go there for like $25 and hold a puppy, or maybe it's $50. It's very expensive, and they have a lovely entrance, and nobody's ever heard of that?
I know.
That sounds fun.
Anyway, it's Golden Retrievers, and they have puppies everywhere. And I'm going to tell you what
it's a dangerous thing to do, though.
Well,
we
it
don't want
is.
to go home with one.
I don't know that they're for sale or anything. I think it's the experience. People come from
just to hold a puppy.
I don't know when I said to.
Well, they have a lot of outgrown dogs though all the time, right?
Well, when I said to one of the owners of Cyber Dogs, I said, "Oh, I could just take this puppy home." She said, "Well,
for
$4,000. She does sell them. That's not the only reason she does the programs, but I think she is scouting out people who would be good owners. And there was even someone at this last one who they had one of the old puppies from last year, and they just wanted to come again to this program.
Neat.
Yeah. So it is a little dangerous.
It is.
It is.
I walked into a Barnes and Noble once, and they had a Bernese Mountain Dog rescue, and they were I just wanted to lay on the floor with them and melt and play with them, and it was nice because it was a rescue. So, but yeah, it is dangerous.
Yeah, anything with animals, people just love.
That means if you go home with 3 puppies.
Yeah. Especially a husky.
Yes.
I wasn't going to, but here we are.
What does that character in Bridesmaids say? I think I overcommitted because she took 8 golden retriever puppies.
She does. Milagro does play an audio recording of the dogs howling, which I think is good for maybe putting people off.
The reality.
The reality check.
There's some great videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
But they're very vocal.
Yeah, they are. And they're so smart. They need something to do. Yeah.
So it's called the Golden Dog Farm. It is it gets 5 stars. Wow. And it's a family-owned organic farm located in Jeffersonville, where visitors can play with a happy of Goldens in a scenic 200-acre setting.
Oh gosh, no, I can't. I have to block this from my memory.
Okay. Anyway,
we're gonna have so many golden retrievers,
and they also sell maple syrup. Honey there. But anyway, Golden Dog Farm. And it costs a fortune for you to go there. I'm here to book the best day of my life ever. Find a date.
Sorry, I wonder if they do library visits.
They might. Oh, this is something that I'll tell you more about later. But in the winter, I went to the Vermont reindeer farm. And it's very cool. Have you been there before? It's
amazing. With reindeer too.
Yeah, they're the only reindeer in Vermont. Reindeer, and they do visits to places. So I talked with her and asked the owner if they would come here. And she said not to reach out until the fall, but yes. But we didn't talk about price, but she did suggest trying to talk to businesses and see if people could pool together to bring them to the green or something.
What about the Santa Claus?
Yeah. Oh, I think that would be really nice.
Yeah. I get those reindeer up those stairs.
Not inside. They're also kind of ornery. So
Reindeer are
the entrance.
Oh yeah, they are a little grumpy with each other, but they're fun. And then upcoming, we have some regular programs still continuing, like story time, Spanish story time, pen pals, book club. All of that is continuing. And we had the movie night that was in July, but we had the first movie night with the country store. That was pretty successful.
How many people were there?
It was hard to tell because it was really dark, but somewhere between 50 and 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure which it was.
But that many.
To.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for the pictures, Barb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looked wonderful, and my kids who were driving home from Boston were like, what is going on in the city? That looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
So anyway.
The next one is, I think, on August 7th. And it's going to be Back to the Future. And someone saw our advertising for it, and they have a DeLorean, which is the kind of car that's in the movie. So they're going to bring it ahead of the screening and show it off.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun.
How did Valerie do keeping the store open a little later?
I think that there were people who went. I don't know if they made a lot more money than usual.
But it wasn't a flop.
No, I don't think so. She was really happy with it as well. And we think that probably the next one will be even bigger because it will be darker earlier. And also people won't be traveling in July, which,
And the word's gotten out.
Yeah.
When is the next one?
August 7th. Yeah. Which brings me to the pet parade on August 8th. It is officially rescheduled. So we're going to start re-advertising. I emailed with Pete earlier today. If anyone is interested in volunteering to help out, I'll run it. Yeah. Or you can run it if you want to. Well, I don't want to take over.
We talked about doing it together.
Yeah.
If that's cool.
Yeah, no, I would love to do that together. Good. Yeah. But yeah, if anyone wants to volunteer, 9:30.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I might be able to.
I had sent an email out to potential volunteers before, and a lot of people had signed up, but then we had to change the date. So I'll resend it to everybody that was on that list.
I might be able to do it.
Yeah, and I will be away.
Cool. We'll take pictures.
Please do.
Maybe Bernie can take some pictures.
Yeah.
And then the other upcoming thing that we have is we have a tween teen yoga series that's starting on Friday. Deanna Bartlett's running it.
Nice.
How many weeks is it going for?
4.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Aww.
You have 4 people signed up?
No, it's 4 weeks long. I don't actually know how many people are signed up because the registration is going to her. I can ask her. The last time we talked about it, I think there were 5 kids signed up for it, but it could be more now. Yeah. Oh, and then with the transition to Maggie, our wonderful new director, I've just been trying to do some organization of stuff on Google Drive and documenting the different accounts that we have and shifting the login information from my email to either the library one or to yours. And then we're working on hiring a new assistant and some extra substitutes.
Have you gotten some response to that?
So we've had, we're also hiring a new cleaner. We've had a lot of response for the cleaner. Yeah. And then I've heard that there are some people interested in applying for the sub job. We haven't gotten any applicants yet for the assistant job, but Maggie and I were brainstorming earlier today, and we have some ideas about how to maybe find someone more quickly. Yeah.
How many hours is it?
So it also is going to kind of depend on the hours and needs of the person who applies. Amy's willing to work more hours, but doesn't have to if we find someone who needs more hours in order to make the job functional.
Who's Amy?
Amy is one of our library assistants.
Oh,
yeah. She works at the high school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She Kelly recommended her the first summer I started when she wasn't going to help with the summer reading program, and we hired Amy.
Oh, okay. I've met her.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But at first she worked 8 hours a week, but then she got a full-time job, so she went down to 2 hours a week.
And what could she do?
She could do up to 6 hours per week.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to share about that?
No. You're doing
okay, so she could do up to 6, so that could kind of be
6.
like a little bit of a. Well, would she be able to do it like more temporary until we found someone that could do 8? Was it 8 that we need?
We have 11 hours of assistant time altogether. So,
or if she could do 6, someone else could do 5.
Yeah. And she's pretty flexible. One thing that Maggie had, an idea that Maggie had was maybe creating a temporary position to try to see if we could get someone in that way. And then we can play around with the hours as necessary between Amy and the new library assistant.
Have you gotten your name off the bank?
I haven't.
Okay.
But I will.
And would you like me to collect mail for a while or take care of deposits or?
I don't think we need someone to collect the mail just since we're going to overlap. I mean, and now that the mailbox is here, which is nice. We had the PO box for a long time.
If you need some help with deposits or whatever.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I will reach out.
Good.
I love help.
And speaking of like the transition, so the town provided Maggie with the formal letter, like, which I was pretty sure it should come from the town and not from a volunteer. So it was just waiting on that. And the town has, Maggie's official start date is July 20th. So they are supporting the transition for those 2 weeks.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got that at like 10 a.m. today, so I'm gonna return it to them tomorrow. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
July 20th.
July 20th. So it'll be the last 2 weeks of the month of transition time.
Nice, really nice.
And
So
one
why
day,
did Front Porch
right?
Forum say that tomorrow's your last day?
It's not my last day tomorrow.
Wait, who's put it in the front porch
No,
forum?
no, it's
my
Meredith's last day tomorrow.
Oh, okay. When I read it, I went, wait, I didn't think
Sorry, I was trying to be
last-
sneaky,
okay.
but yeah, Meredith's last day is
Okay.
tomorrow. Yeah, we've been so lucky to have Meredith.
Absolutely.
for so long.
Sure, really.
Yeah, but she has a really awesome new job. Starting.
What is your awesome new job?
I'm gonna go teach at the Bellwether School.
Oh, that's a really awesome new job. That's a special
Congratulations.
place.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited.
That's great.
Yeah, but I will definitely miss the library and Catherine so much.
Yeah.
You'll have to stop in and say hello.
I
Yeah, we'll miss
definitely will.
you. Yeah, so many transitions at once.
Yeah.
So what is her new job?
The Bellwether, just right there, the Bellwether School in Williston.
Okay, yes.
Williston, right?
My
Yeah, yeah.
hearing isn't perfect.
Mine's
Mine
not
neither.
either. No, I know.
So
I'm
I
like,
couldn't quite.
mine neither.
So-
I
Is
know.
there
I'm like,
any-
she's right there.
Is there anything we need to talk about before we stop recording?
No, not that I'm aware of. There's no new business. Yeah, I just was gonna say town approved, the start date July 20th, and official letter went out. So yeah, so we can adjourn from the public meeting.